All right, there's a lot that's been sent forth. I'm not making it twit longer. I just want to talk, and that way, I just want to talk instead of making it twit longer to make it feel more genuine. I'm not sure if it does, but I feel like that's something I should do. That's what I've been recommended by a friend. Um, so I want to talk about this. There's been quite a bit that's been said. These people are not bad people at all. I understand why they're doing it, and it's honestly, I deserve to have some sort of consequence. I deserve to explain myself. These things I've said in the past definitely deserve an explanation. Even though they were in private, it's definitely something that should have been brought forth. But this is going to be me uh, attempting. I'm not good at defending myself for talking, but this is going to be an attempt for me to prove that I have changed throughout the time and that I'm still improving. So the thing that I'm currently improving on is how I talk, how I talk to people and how harshly I talk. I made a tweet longer about it, so it's not gonna be. I'm not gonna talk about too much, but I can very often talk very harshly to people. I get angry a lot. It's something I've only actually recently noticed that I have a problem with, and I am working on it. So Taylor, I'm very I'm telling you this. I'm sorry how I talked, how I treated you. It was very harsh. It was very harsh, and um, I know you won't ever talk to me ever again. But uh, you know, I, I respect you for coming out and talking about this. Also, with Jesse Ufroki, I also want to apologize for being a really shitty friend and not keeping a promise. I already apologized, but I'll apologize again because yeah, it was pretty fucked up. And when I was mad at you for not forgiving me, that was completely unjustified on my part, and that was I should have never expected you to forgive me because what I did was well unforgivable, and not everybody has to give someone a second chance. I understand that now. I'm gonna try be as honest as possible without playing the victim card because the one thing I hate with people who respond to stuff is playing the victim card. I don't want to play the victim card. I just want to be honest. Um, but I also just I don't know. I'm honestly kind of scared. I'm very scared for this reputation. This is something that stresses me out, but once again, it is deserved. So responding to the twitlongers, most of what was said is true, although there are some things are not as true. Some things that I've just completely forgotten about, and some things are also just not true at all. But for the most part, I would say like pretty much 90% of or 95% of everything that was said is basically true, or at least DM wise. Nothing was, I'm gonna move on. I forgot what I was gonna say. So I'm gonna respond to the racism and the offensive stuff. Um, I was with a group. Those DMs were from people, or at least most of the DMs were from people I used to talk to very offensively because they talked to me offensively first. I'm sure that if you ask the person that sent you those DMs, the DMs that we've had, they will see equally the amount of offensive stuff back together. That doesn't excuse for me being offensive or saying any of those things that I said. It doesn't excuse it at all. But I just know that I don't say stuff like that anymore. I don't do stuff like that anymore. But yeah, if anybody remembers a video that I made a long time ago, it was for well, it's not that long time ago. For my 100K special, I made a video talking about my experience, or not necessarily my experience, but talking a little bit, I would say, about a group I used to be in called the HNG Squad. They were a group that I loved. They were, I viewed them as my best friends, and I would love playing with them all the time. Although this group was very toxic, they would act very racist and very offensive. We had a black friend or colored friend. I'm sorry if that offends you by saying black friend. A colored person. Ah, shit. Whatever. You get it. They were an African American, and they were okay with the with everybody in the group, not me included. By the way, I didn't even say it at first. Everybody was okay with them saying racial stuff and racial stuff towards him. Everybody was fine with it, and I can prove it if I ever need to. They were perfectly fine with it. I asked him if he was okay with everything I said, and he says, "I don't care. It's funny." That is what he said. Quote. And I still felt bad, but eventually, as we kept playing, I started joining in for the shock comedy or shock humor. Something once again, I don't just for people to understand. I don't see it as funny anymore. I don't see it funny at all anymore. I used to find it funny back then. It is not funny to me at all. It is disgusting. It is disgusting behavior. I said these things when I was 17. I am now currently 20 years old. Regardless, the group would always be offensive. I would just find it regular. I would never be offensive necessarily to other people. I would only keep it inside the group because that's what the group was okay with. Although the group, after some time, started being offensive to other people, and or they started being so not and or and they started being uh, in my opinion, which led me to leave the group, was they started crossing the line with lots. They would keep crossing the line and just make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And I just kind of got annoyed with that. And I was like, "Yo, guys, can you guys chill? Like, this needs to stop." And eventually, I started to try. I started attempting to tell them to stop saying all this stuff, and it made me really sad that the only friend group I had, the only friends I ever had, were being offensive. It made me so depressed. It honestly made me so depressed. And what's even more sad than that is the fact that Froki or Jesse actually came to me and tried to be my friend during the whole entire situation, and I denied her. And I felt so bad because she actually cared about me as a friend, but I completely ignored it because I wanted to be part of the one group that I found to be the most, I guess, entertaining. I don't know exactly my reasoning back then, if I'm going to be honest. And once again, if you watch the video, you'll probably know what happened next. I had suicidal tendencies. The group didn't really offer me respect. I was felt very sad. Blah 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 blah. They made fun of my suicidal tendencies. I left and started my journey of becoming a better person. Now on that journey, I have completely stopped DMing people like a really racist stuff or offensive stuff. I still did it sometimes. But it wasn't as bad as I used to be, right? It wasn't as bad, but I still did it, and I started to improve myself over time. I can confidently say right now that I do not do things or say things are racist or say things are offensive now. I still did it. I would say like in the last couple of months, but I've basically completely toned that offensive talk. I'm sorry, I forgot the word. Just I completely stopped talking like that completely. So do I still need to work on it? I would say still, yeah. I honestly still do need to work on it. I shouldn't find any of that funny. I find it amusing rarely, but I don't at all as much as I did before. But yeah, I would say I would say that I've improved all very much. Which, by the way, for anybody who wants to know outside of this, I believe that everybody should be treated the exact same, no matter who you are, what you believe in, what color you are, if you're gay, straight, bi, or whatever. I believe that everyone should be treated the same, and you shouldn't treat someone differently just because they're different. So when people call me a racist, I'm honestly upset. I understand I get upset about that. When people say I've said racist stuff, then I can completely understand that. I have said a lot of racist stuff, and I don't do it anymore. I think I've talked a little bit too much on that, so I just want to get to the other topics a bit more and a bit faster, because I don't want this to be too long. But I want to talk about it long enough where I'm happy with what I've said, or at least satisfied with what I've said. In one of the Twitlongers, my uneducated political stances and stuff were leaked. Um, I'm kind of disappointed that, honestly. Like, obviously, you can disagree with it. I've changed my opinions a lot on those stuff, but I think from the things I've talked about, to be honest, I hate politics and everything about politics. I hate I hate everything about that. But some things were leaked, and I just want to say I'm not a very smart person when it comes to politics. I'm not a very smart person in general. So whenever I say something wrong, I'm sorry. When I say something offensive, please correct me on it, and I have been corrected on it. Um, I, I can't really defend myself much here because I'm just uneducated. When I say stuff, I just say stuff that I've been just kind of raised to believe in. You know, I change my opinions and stuff, but usually everything that I say that are in terms of politics and stuff like that, usually I was just raised with. Like I was raised to believe in all those things. But ever since like that conversation that I had, honestly, I basically completely stopped having those kinds of conversations because, well, I don't want people to think that, you know, I'm a bad person or anything like that just because of an opinion or something like that. And obviously my opinions do change, but you know, once again, I will treat everyone the same. I don't care what kind of person you are. For the most part, I don't really, I don't. If you're different, I'm still going to treat you the same. You know, you're still. I'm going to treat you the same. So yeah, that's all I can really say about that. All I can really say is that I'm educated. Sir, I'm sorry, I can't say the word. I'm uneducated when it comes to stuff like that. So I hope you don't take too much offense on that. Although if there's something that needs to be said about that, please let me know. I do want to become a better person, truly. Now, the last thing I want to talk about. This is one of the things that this is one of my biggest regrets ever. And it was not keeping a promise. This was on the second Twitlonger that I read. This was about me talking to people about my friend being sexually assaulted. She told me about her experience because she just needed to tell somebody, and then she told me to keep it a promise. It took me a very long time, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to admit this. It took me a very long time to finally realize the situation that she was in. I had to had a long conversation with my mother to understand it, and all I can really say now is I'm sorry. Like I know you won't forgive me. I hope you forgive me, but I know you won't forgive me, and I completely understand if you don't. I completely respect that because what I did was not okay. I told somebody a secret about something really, really well, something that happened, something messed up that happened, and I'm very sorry about that. But that wasn't just the problem. The other problem was that I actually told two people about this situation, but I only thought I told one person. So when she confronted it to me when I talked about the first time, not the first time, well the first person I talked to about it, she honestly got really upset, and after some time we made up, and well she forgave me, and I was super happy about that because she was a really good friend. She helped me with so many situations, which I can guarantee you she can tell you a bunch. Um, but unfortunately, I told someone else, and if I told her that I told a second person, when that first person occurrence happened, this wouldn't have it wouldn't have happened the way it did. But unfortunately, I forgot the second person I told the promise to, and or the secret to, and yeah, she she thought that I told someone after that situation, and even if she didn't think that, still is a really bad situation. I should not have told two people that. Like it was understandable why I told the first person because me and that first person had a connection, but the second person, I should have not have done that. I don't know. Like the thing is, I don't know what I could have done. Like obviously after I made the mistakes, I don't know what I could have done. I always want to do the right thing. I know a lot of times I do the wrong thing, and I'm telling you, my life. I've made a bunch of tweets about this. There's so many things I regret. So many things I regret, and I regret all of this, man. I regret that group taught me so many bad things. I treated my family worse because I was inside that friend group. That's how much I regretted being in that group. And and even after I left the group, I still made a bunch of mistakes because I had to, well, learn the hard way, I guess. But please don't feel bad for me on that sake. That's not me trying to play the victim card, but that's just me saying how it is. And I'm not sure how long I've been talking for. I think it's like 17 or 18 minutes. I don't expect everyone to listen to this whole entire thing, but if you did, I I appreciate it. I know there's still going to be a lot. I assume there's still going to be a lot of people who can't forgive me. I understand. I can't get upset at you, and I should not get upset at you for not forgiving me. I know there's a lot of friends. I know a lot of friends who don't want to back me up on this, which is understandable. There's a lot. I want to improve as a person. I've always wanted to be a good person. I tell people I'm not a good person, but I want to be. Yeah. As much as I want to say I wish all this was resolved privately, when those people said that, or when people said that this could not be resolved privately, I understood it. It really couldn't be. The only way I could have fully acknowledged everything and realized everything and just apologized about everything is by, well, facing it forth. And unfortunately, as a content creator, I feel like it being released to the public was probably the best idea. Anyways, if you could find your heart to forgive me through all of this, also I would also recommend everyone to read the Twitlongers. It'll probably be linked. Um, I would appreciate if you read it and just so you understood the context of my response because these people put a lot of effort into trying to do the right thing. If there's any recommendations that you guys can give me to become a better person or just anything, like I'm open to everything. I'm not stuck on this one thing. Like if you guys want me to become a better person, I will. I want to become a better person. I will take all recommendations. But yeah, no, this is pretty scary. That's all I'm gonna say. Because ever since I left the friend group, I was scared uh for making a response because not because I'm scared of the truth, but I'm scared of giving a response that people will not like. Um, but yeah, if you watch the whole entire thing, I really do truly appreciate it. And yeah, I guess that's it.